Hey, Alexandra. Thought it was pretty funny chasing the butterfly for a half an hour around the garden. Um, yeah, I liked your comments about visiting your mom's garden, how beautiful you thought it is. I think it is, and I'm sure it really is. Um, and yeah, photographing bugs like that, it can be pretty tricky, actually. Um, the issue with macro work is as we get in close to things, the depth of field is tiny, very narrow, so that a quarter inch sometimes either way can make something out of focus. So, and bugs are on the move and trying to coordinate, getting it all sharp and timed right, yeah, is tricky. But anyway, this is well done. I like the yellow contrast with the purple and the sunlight breaking across the texture on the wings here. Maybe could darken the bottom just a little bit, but sort of how it separates at the top is nice, but no big deal there. This may be one of the least favorite of mine. It's okay. I think more you were thinking when you were working how delicious the cake might be, and you had a perception of it at the time that went beyond the mere formal visual thing of it. A whole lot of emotions come into play about food and other things, so we'll keep moving here. One of my things is be careful about full sun with plants and foliage and stuff. It can be kind of contrasty and sometimes a bit too much. Oftentimes it's better to photograph on a rainy day or a cloudy day or when things are somewhat overcast. The spikes of this red are pretty cool. There's a lot kind of going on in the background though. And here's a case where there's a lot of texture but no real form coming out. I guess that's a way to put it. So these next three are my absolute favorite, and yeah, this one's really good, maybe the best. It's very simple. It gets to the point. Nothing is competing. The focal point is strong. I like the flower is giving us this gift too of this beautiful halo of white and purple against the yellow. Yeah, this is good. Beautifully done. White things, especially in sunshine, very tricky. So when it gets blown out white like that, it's not as great. And one way to handle that is to shoot in RAW, RAW, and then dial back the highlights and dial back the exposure a little bit to try to pick up a little texture here. See, texture like in the moth or butterfly, I don't know quite. It looks like maybe a big moth. I've never seen one like this. And the way light breaks across these folds, that's what makes that great. And in here you see it's just blank white. Okay, so we try to avoid that. Another tip about white is never photograph a person for a portrait with them wearing white, because the same issue applies. Their clothing kind of takes your eye away from their face and their eyes, and it's hard to get texture. Like this one, I do like this one for the same reason. It's a little faded out though. We could pump up the levels in Photoshop. I'd rather see a live lizard or gecko rather than a picture of somebody else's sculpture, and maybe the same for this. I'm not sure. This looks like it's a manufactured starfish and not a real one. So back to these three. 1, 2 for design, and 3, but this one most of all, best one of the lot. All right, take care.